Okay, thank you.
Godwin.
My name is Godwin Irokaba.
Irokaba.
That's my sign
the
name. I'm a deaf. Well, I became deaf while I was still as a kid in Jos. I finished primary. I finished.
Interviewing pre-interpretation.
Also,
Another person
I finished from University of Calabar. I'm back again in Jos University. When I finished from University of Jos, I did my PhD. After that, I went to Port Harcourt, then back to Calabar, and I've been working here now in Calabar since.
Wow, thank you. Have you taught deaf children before?
Yes. I grew up as a teacher. When I finished my university in Jos, I did my NYC, that's my youth service in Port Harcourt. After finishing my NYC there, a government provided a job for me as a teacher in a deaf school.
Wow.
14 years I taught deaf school.
Thank you. When you were young, as a deaf learner, what are those things you wish are different when your teachers taught you before? What are those things you wish are different?
Thank you very much. Here in Nigeria, truly, it's difficult for the teachers to teach the deaf children. The problem is many deaf children don't have the language, so the teachers too do not have the skill enough to pass that information to deaf children. The teachers use English Sign Language, word for word, and that's a problem. Why? Because that English Sign Language in an English format, and it's different from what deaf children are used to. Before deaf children can speak or write English properly, they must first have heard before. But if a deaf child have not even acquired language before, it's very difficult to have the full understanding of word for word English. So most often, teachers, they think the deaf children are the same thing with the hearing children. It's different, quite different. Because of that, deaf children cannot learn anything, and it's very difficult for them to acquire this knowledge properly.
Thank you.
If teachers understand
if the teachers understand the strategy to teach the children, it will be better. But in Nigeria, wow, it's difficult.
Thank you. So, Mr. Sam, I'll take the next question while you prepare for the rest. Another question for you, sir. What is your opinion about sign language for teaching in Nigerian school for deaf children?
Thank you
very much. Here in Nigeria, teachers don't understand sign language. That's one of the points. The deaf children, their sign language is different from the usual sign language. We call it that C sign exact English. That's word for word. That is not in itself is not sign language. The deaf person that is born have his own natural language. That natural language is different from sign language we use today. So in Nigeria, parents, teachers, they complain that this children's sign English language is broken and they are not signing properly. But that is their own language.
Because of that, all children are forced to use.
Because of that, children, they are forced to use word for word.
For them.
And that's a problem, both the teachers and the students.
Thank you. So, Mr. Sami, take the next question, the next one.
Okay, please. Thank you. What is the best way to teach a pre-lingual, that's deaf child in school who he has never acquired sign language before?
We don't enter.
You understand?
Okay, let me take it again.
Okay.
Can we see me?
Yes, I can see you.
You can see me. Right? You will answer his question. No matter this.
Okay, so I will try and answer because there was a little difficulty in the
Yes.
the best way to teach the deaf children that do not have language before they are not privy to language before they became deaf. It's through pictures. Use pictures to do this. As if we read the policy of education, we'll see there the government recommended that we use pictures, playway method, and show them what it is to teach the children. So if I'm to teach a deaf child who is a pre-lingually deaf person, I will just use pictures to portray whatever I want to explain to this child. And with time, you'll be able to learn the language properly.
Thank you.
I hope my point is clear.
Yes, yes.
I hope my point is clear.
Thank you. I am thinking, you know, there are different sign languages, right? Now, what is the difference, you understand, between SEE, sign exact English, and our sign language used in Nigeria? Any difference?
Thank you. Here in Nigeria, we use SEE, SE1 and SEE2. SEE1 means we sign English word, English statements exactly how it's seen. If we see a difficult word, we break it down. For example, if in SE1, do you understand me? SE1 will say, do you understand me? UNDE, under, and stand as in to stand, as SE1. But SE2 will not break it down. SE2 will say, Do you understand me? We use the word understand. So you see, do, you see, understand me. That is English. They followed the English language format. But truly, natural language will say, you understand me. 3 words. You understand me. And your face will show the question mark. The facial expression will show the question mark. You use the face to show the question. You understand, you broaden the face like this. You understand. That's.
I get you. The
problem in Nigeria is that teachers do not know that sign language is different from the usual English language. We teachers should sign fully what is theirs, what is their own, as the deaf people sign, to make the thing understandable.
Thank you. For you, a deaf, you understand, well-learned person, deaf, what do you prefer? What do you choose? The SEE, the 1 or 2, or Nigerian Sign Language? What do you choose? Which one is better for you?
They can't allow that to continue.
Thank you very much. For educated deaf people in Nigeria,
yeah, they want it down.
If you are communicating with them one-on-one, you can use natural sign language, which is, but if you are interpreting for them, you should use academic sign language. Academic sign language means you can use SE, 2. It's very, very okay, very, very fine for them to interpret and use for them. You can use SE 2. But to associate with people, to talk or chat with people with them, you can use natural sign language.
Okay, thank you. Now, what is your opinion for the schools we have in Nigeria? Do you think we have enough school for deaf children? Do you think we need more schools for deaf children? Because I believe education must be close to the deaf child. We have seen many parents looking for schools for their children. Do you believe we have enough? Is our government doing well enough? What is your opinion and advice? Thank you.
Thank you very much. If we read again, please. Okay, the census. Census in Nigeria, we have about 12 million. We have about 12 million deaf children. It means that we must have more schools. Teaching deaf children require about 10 people in a class. 10 students in a class. But today in Nigeria, we see deaf children, there are about 20 in a class, like that. It means we teach deaf children the same way we teach the hearing people, which is wrong. We need to have more deaf schools also. The government, the schools, the way the poor needs to, the poor and the private schools also. Okay, we have in the government school there are poor teachings. We need private schools to support them. We also need the private schools. We need to welcome international organizations so that people from other countries can come down here and collaborate with us, can help train our teachers.
Thank you.
That is very important.
So we need to bring in more private schools, and we also need to encourage more people to start and open a school for deaf, because in my area here, we have many private schools around everywhere, private school, but you find it hard to see a school for deaf children. Okay, another question. What is your opinion? In your own opinion, what are the problems our deaf children they have in school? What do you think are the problems they face every day for a deaf child? What is the major problem they face every time in school, in your own opinion?
Thank you. The deaf children face big challenge. Lack of motivation. Lack of motivation to learn. Deaf children come from poor background, poor family. The father, the mother do not encourage them at all. No books to read. They go home. When they get home, the father will use them maybe to hawk around, to sell water, pure water and all. They do some other things, other business with them. No time to study their books. So the deaf children will grow up without interest in school. The parents needs to involve them, involve the parents in their education, and they need to be encouraged from home. Buy them books, buy them good clothes for school, give them money for food and other things. It's very important. Sorry, we can't hear you, ma. We can't hear you.
Okay, Mr. Sam, you take the last question. You take the last question. So before you take the last question, I want to ask, you give us a number of deaf children in Nigeria. That is a huge number for deaf children. I think many school owners, they need to, okay, you can't see me. Okay, thank you.
Send mommy said.
Is it better now? Okay, thank you. You mentioned a great number of deaf children in Nigeria, and that is much. I believe many school owners now will start thinking of how to include deaf education, because I have been talking to many school owners. I encourage them to promote inclusive education. Inclusive education is very, very encouraged. Why? If we have many schools for hearing and no school for deaf, we all need to encourage the starting of school for deaf children. I believe you understand that. So I want to encourage people out there to please start and just include deaf children, because
they will add
they
two
are around us.
drawback.
They live with us. Thank you. For the last question now, Mr. Sam, you can go ahead.
Okay, the last question is 2 in 1. Now, as a final advice,
What if you had
give back to a deaf child, what would be your advice? Now, if you say school, what are the things that they should look out for in a school for their children? What are the things that they bet to get the best school for their children? So please, what's the advice you give to your parents? And if it's school, what are the things to look out for in a good school? We should look out for the environment. The environment is very important. Another thing is who is the academic head, the school head? How skillful is that person? Is that person a deaf himself, or
Mr. Sam, please unmute yourself. Mr. Sam.
what's the advice to the parents? My advice to the parents is you should try and if you do not mix around, you don't know what to do, you should meet teachers, meet principals, and discuss with them. The discussion should be very important. Any problem, any issues, you bring it to them. Also, the parent needs to learn sign language. At least just learn something little to be able to communicate with your child. And also, a relationship with the children is very good. Parents-children relationship is very, very good. So the parents should not be scared to learn the language, the sign language.
Two more from people hearing and seeing us here. We have two questions. Mr. Sam, you help me interpret as I talk. Can you do that, Mr. Sam?
Yes, please.
Okay. We have very, very short, in the next 5 minutes we'll be rounding up. Help me sign as I read out this question. Questions for him.
Okay.
Number one, someone asks, how would
He's not looking up. He's not looking. I say, wait.
Okay, let me read the question to you, sign to him. How would the stigma they face be reduced? How would the stigma they face reduced? That is from Hafsat. And another person, Dr. Lukman Olushesi is asking, what are the key differences between ordinary and academic sign language? What are the key differences between ordinary and academic sign languages? So help me give him those two. And how does a deaf person cope at work in a hearing community?
Sorry, could you please? Questions from outside. Some questions that were sent in. So the first one, please, again, please.
The first question is, what are the key differences between ordinary and academic sign language? Mr. Sam, you need to do it again. Interpret again. What are the key differences between ordinary and academic sign language?
Ordinary and academic sign language. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Ordinary and natural sign language. That's the language in the inner man that is born with this person. You use what we call the broken sign language. Communicate. When they grow up, they'll be able to learn language. That's the language, the social language.
Social language.
If it's one-on-one, you can communicate with that. But in academic setting, in university, we need interpreters to interpret using a mixture of natural sign language and sign exact English. That's academic sign language. So the second question, please.
Thank you. Another question. Mommy Adekoba is asking, how can you integrate sign language to the existing curriculum in school in Nigeria?
Sign language to the existing curriculum in school.
In our schools in Nigeria.
Curriculum in school. How can we?
That's for the benefit of the hearing.
We have something called access. Access to curriculum. Access to curriculum means what? It means the way we can make curriculum understandable to deaf children. If we want the curriculum to be understood by the deaf children, it means we must use bi-language. Yes, bi-language. If we use sign exact English, the deaf will never be developed. all teachers in Nigeria should be trained in bilanguage methodology.
Thank you very much. Because of time, I will not be able to take all the other questions. Please forgive me. I want to appreciate everybody that have joined us today to learn and to hear from our guests. Thank you for your time. I really appreciate you. Mr. Irokaba, you signed your name as G for Godwin, right? He signed his name, Irokaba Godwin, this way. Thank you for your time. I want to appreciate everybody for the questions and all of that. I want to say thank you, and I believe together we can make deaf education better than it is now. Mr. Sam, I want to appreciate you. Thank you so much for joining and co-hosting this with me. I want to say thank you so much. God bless everyone. Speaking fingers, I appreciate you, Ma. Mommy Treasures,